Yo, what up, what up, what up? We back with another week of Virgos Know Everything. I go by the name of Big Will.
I'm Keith Jones, Mr. Did You Know? What's cracking?
And I'm the one and only M. Leak, Murph Love, everybody, everywhere. What's up?
Hey, man, and tonight is a special night, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. We got a very special guest in the building. We got the legendary Greg Street, man.
Yes, sir.
Good, what's good, man?
What up, what up, what up? Yeah.
It's big. What's cracking,
Welcome.
man?
What's up, baby? My God. How you doing, bro?
You know, I know you a sneakerhead, man, so I ain't gonna lie, man. I have to bring out some of the best that I got, man. You know what I'm saying?
Put them 20s on the table, man. Put them 39s on the table, man.
These exclusives, man. You know what I'm saying? Got the Space Jam Jones, you know what I'm saying?
Got the moon boots.
Hey, man. You don't know. What's your sneakers looking like?
I don't wear sneakers, bro. I don't spend my money on sneakers. I wear casual joints.
Well, you should, man.
That ain't my thing.
You gotta be able to switch it up, man.
And I don't wear Jordans
hey,
either.
My man was out here hooping in some Aldos, man.
Look,
out here giving niggas buckets and they lost.
And they lost.
Hooping in some cold huns.
Yeah. I'm trying to tell you, bro.
Flat out.
Yeah. No, we couldn't wear Jordans when we were kids, man. My dad didn't allow us, so we couldn't wear them, and it just stuck with me. So you know what I'm saying. You know,
got your first pair of Jordans the first day you left home.
You bet.
I couldn't wait.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Will, don't take off your shoe no more, cuz.
Yeah, for real. For real. It's hot over here. It got hot over here.
No, man. I put the
worse than weed smoke.
No. I put the Arm & Hammer in them motherfuckers. Ain't nothing going on over here.
For real. How's your weekend, man? What you get into?
Arm & Hammer got that. Got a little situation with that Arm & Hammer.
The radio hosts want to roast me, man.
You ain't seen on the news now?
All the radio hosts want to roast the kid, man.
Trying to hip you to some real game, cuz.
What's going on? What happened on the
Google it right now.
What news, man?
Google it. You'll see it pop right up.
Arm & Hammer, what? What happened?
Don't do it.
It had the little the stuff in it.
I don't see nothing.
Of course not. He went to their website. They trying to sell you something.
Yeah, they gonna let you know. It was something bad
Man,
with
I
it.
just straight Googled it.
What'd it say?
Why don't you use baby powder, bro?
Man, look.
Nah, you don't want to use Johnson & Johnson. Johnson
Google
is
problem with Arm & Hammer.
Problem with Arm & Hammer. Let's see what it is.
What's wrong with baby powder?
I don't know, bro.
I wanted to see it.
What you use?
Johnson & Johnson has been,
for real? That's everything though, right? What you supposed to use?
Nothing, fam.
What you supposed to use? Cornstarch?
Man, this man
Google see nothing.
Ebola.
You on with the show, Arm & Hammer, man.
Come
on, man. You making the Arm & Hammer commercial?
Ebola and Arm & Hammer.
Ebola and Arm & Hammer.
Google it. Man, it was on the news last week.
Man, something wrong with all that shit in the box, man. Anything you got going on, don't worry about it, boy. Just quit putting your feet in Arm & Hammer.
Man, ain't nothing going on. Yeah, so what you get into this weekend, man? We usually start off doing the weekends and everything like that, man.
This weekend coming up?
No, what did you do this past weekend?
What did I do this past weekend? I can't even remember.
I saw you at the local Green, man.
Oh yeah, local Green grand opening.
Man.
Did the local Green grand opening and
yes, sir.
Open house on Sunday. That was crazy.
Man, the way Atlanta support black people.
I still ain't been there yet, man. The food good?
Yes, sir.
Food good there?
All day from 11 until 5. Murph couldn't even get nothing to eat.
What you call it? The black on black dime. That's what we call black on black dime.
That's what's up.
That was hard.
What you get into?
Man, Friday, what I do Friday? I think I went to the studio, and then Saturday we linked up. I think I went to the studio Saturday as well, Sunday too, and then we did the baby shower for Gage. Yeah, that shit, it was cool, bro. That shit was straight lit, man.
Shout out to Gage, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Gage and his new baby Malik. He ain't born yet, but he 15 pounds already.
You feel me? Yeah, I know he gonna be big.
Yeah, he gonna be huge.
That boy Gage a ox, bro.
Yeah, man. What you do?
I went out of town. I had a show in Houston, then I had a show in Memphis, man. Shout out to all the promoters. Shout out to all the DJs. Shout out to everybody out there in the world that was participating on the gram and on the live and on the front row.
Man, my boy Murph on this second run like a mother.
Second time
Still
around.
on his first run.
Tell him, man.
He's still on his first run.
Tell him, Greg.
Well, the name of the campaign second time around, but
it's
still your first time. You back for the first time in this month, right?
Hey man, whatever you say is good enough for me, brother. Just say it twice.
Hey, so
yeah, what you getting into, bruh?
I recorded some music. You know what I'm saying?
Got another pair of Jordans.
Yeah, man, I got, you know what I'm saying? I went and recorded some music with the homies. You know what I'm saying? Did the baby shower. You know what I'm saying? That was about it, man.
Yeah,
that was about it, man.
What do you do?
Nothing else.
Nothing happened Friday?
No, man. I just chilled in the house, man.
You sure?
Yeah.
Listen, man.
Nothing you want to discuss?
Always trying to put you. No, I don't want to discuss what took place on Friday, man. I don't even remember what happened on Friday. But yeah, man. So we gonna go ahead and get into the interview. You know what I'm saying? Because we got a lot of stuff that we want to cover with you. And once again, we thank you for coming on the show. Before we get into it, we got the Did You Know Bill. At any given time of the show, you ring that, and he has to give you a fun fact. Go ahead, try it off the side, man. Let's see what.
Fun fact.
Hey, we got to ring that up, man. Yeah, you can ring it.
Yeah, don't be.
Did you know in Australia, Burger King is actually called Hungry Jack's? A little different. Just lightweight. Yeah, you ain't know that. Lightweight. You know what I'm saying? Further we get into the show, you know what I'm saying? I give you some better fun facts. You know what I'm saying?
Did you know Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in Atlanta is called Gladys Knight?
Hey, I ain't like Roscoe's for real like that, man. It was decent. Roscoe's was decent.
I ain't never had Roscoe's, but I had Gladys. It was,
I didn't get a chance.
Okay. It was okay. Ain't messing with no sweetie pies from St. Louis. You know what I'm saying?
I don't like.
Did you know In-N-Out Burger in LA is called, in Atlanta is called Crystals?
Crystals is trash, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do White Castles.
Yeah, man. You been to St. Louis, man? I know you've been to St. Louis.
Once.
Once
I wasn't there that long.
Wow,
I wasn't there long enough to do nothing.
I'm surprised because I know you know DJ Jelly.
Yeah, we got a lot of love. I got a lot of love in my projects on St. Louis too. I just never got a chance to go.
Yeah, I remember Grace.
He said
one of your mixtapes is like one of the, because back then the internet wasn't too heavy like that, and one of your mixtapes was the first mixtapes I ever had actually.
In St. Louis?
Yeah. Your stuff made it all the way up to St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis, Chicago. A lot of those cities where I never really went, spent a lot of time. A lot of music did real good.
Yeah, that's what. So how did you get your start in radio?
I actually started radio when I was in high school, like just messing around. I was doing parties, so me and one of my friends decided that we wanted to advertise our parties on the radio. We went to the radio station, and I was DJing. He was doing like some of the business stuff and helping me out, and it turned into a relationship with the program director of the radio station and the owner of the radio station.
That's what's up. What was the first record you ever threw on the turntable?
Man, I can't remember. I probably still got it though.
So you keep all your crates, huh?
Oh yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So you still rocking with vinyl then?
Yeah, I can.
You choose not to?
Sometimes I do. Like, they have little vinyl special parties. We play all vinyl sometimes.
Yeah.
Pull out a couple crates.
I know a lot of music lovers, they prefer vinyl, like especially like when they're in their crib.
Well, they done start back putting it out.
Yeah, I heard Kendrick was doing pretty good in terms of
vinyl,
the actual vinyl sales. I heard that's one of his strings that he popular on.
Is scratching still alive?
Yeah.
Irker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you don't hear it a lot though.
Nah, you should.
I mean, because most of the time, nowadays, because people on these streaming platforms, they're not really hitting the radio like they used to, so they don't really get that ear for scratching. They don't really hear it anymore.
Do you feel like that whole thing is a myth, or do you think that that's like real talk in terms of the numbers dwindling down for radio?
It's just people just got more options.
Right.
It's just more options, but like artists like Murph will tell you the difference in like a artist having a big record on the internet versus having a big record on the internet and on the radio is a totally different money when it comes to publishing checks for music. Like being on the radio is big for artists, rappers and R&B artists, whoever. Like it's a big myth that but most of the artists who think that they've never really made any publishing money, so they don't know what it is to get $1 million check for publishing or a $20 million or a $50 million publishing deal, because with streaming you got to stream so much to get the money. Right. But on radio, if you got, like Murph will tell you, you got a #1 song at radio, you about to get some serious offers for some publishing money.
Yeah.
But a lot of the young artists, they've never really been into the business. So they start off, you getting $5, $10, $15, $20,000 for a show. They think they done arrived. Right. And then you normally hear like years later, they'll say, well, so-and-so stuck me. They screwed me. And it'd be like somebody in the background over here who knew about the publishing was over here getting it. And then they took my publishing. But your ass didn't know.
Yeah, you got to make sure you know your paperwork.
It's a dirty game, man. I ain't gonna lie. Well, it can be a dirty game.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're supposed to know, it can be a long.
They can get ugly.
I think it's hard because now that you can own your own stuff like they do, man. In about 20 years, all these video games and everything like that. I'm just thinking about it now because like right now, still like my first album, I don't got my masters. You know what I'm saying? So like, when them video games and different things come out in years come down the line, boy, these kids owning their own stuff, that's major right there. So
see, a lot of artists like you probably don't even know in your contract, Murph, after a certain amount of years, you can actually re-record your songs.
Re-record them?
You can re-record. You have the rights to re-record your songs. Like when a lot of artists don't know if they're on an independent label or if they do it, depending on how their paperwork is, after so many years, you can get your masters back, or there's a clause in there where you can re-record the music. Mm-hmm. You can re-record it and make it again, because it's like a lease agreement.
Yeah. Mm. Would you have to make it different, or can you make the same? You can make the same record.
Same.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
that's bananas.
Did you know?
Did you? Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy.
See, and that's the thing, when we get guests like you in the building, man, like we kind of like just throw something out there and just let you run, because we never know what type of jewels you gonna.
Like a lot of people like Mr. Kylie Park when he put out the Yin Yang Twins and all them records on TVT. Like his agreement was up for Kylie Park Music being on TVT, so he get all those masters back, come back to him. Because it's like people don't know. It's actually like sometimes when you're doing a deal with a distribution deal with a major label, they don't own the masters. They lease it over a certain amount of time. So after that time is up, after that contract is up, you actually you can get it back. It might be 10 years, it might be 15 years, but a lot of people don't be thinking. They thinking it ain't gonna be good after that time, but you never know when somebody gonna come back and sample your record.
I need to go look at that. Yeah, I'm 15
it's like it's like when producers do that with they beats.
Well, I guess it's I guess it depends on what you sign, because you hear artists like the Locks or whatever, that's where Puff had they publishing for like 10, 15 years after they got off the label. So,
but that's publishing though. That master's different from just your publishing.
It's two different things.
Masters is your recording, actually recording that song, and that song could be on TV shows and all type of shit. You could be leasing that instead of them, because they getting a check every time. See, you getting a check because they played it, but your company who own your masters is getting a check to getting permission to play it. Yeah, you feel me? So like you missing those checks. Yeah, you missing the front check.
Yeah, you missed the front check.
They getting paid. You get your publishing, movies, anything.
You get the publishing part, but you get your percentage of the publishing, but the license of the master.
And now the YouTube and all that shit going on, everything, man, these commercials using these songs and all that, and you don't own that shit. If you did own it, just think if you did own it. That's all it is.
Like the Good Day song I did with Nappy Roots, that song was in a big movie every year for the past like 4 or 5 years. Neighbors, Secret Life of Pets,
all type of shit.
All kind of Kellogg commercials.
That's dope.
Oh man, Secret Life of Pets. That's a different type of money right there, boy. Cartoon money.
Yeah, cartoon money.
Every time they want to use that song, they paying somebody. You know what I'm saying? So if you got part of it, that's what
get your part.
So you're not from Atlanta, right?
No.
Okay. When did you?
I moved to Atlanta in '95.
Okay, so you came around the Freaknik era.
Last year.
It was the last couple years.
Okay, so how do you feel like that? Because everybody who, even if they're not in the industry, everybody who's old enough to have experienced Freaknik, I usually ask them about it, and they face just light up like it was just an experience like no other.
It was crazy.
Well, see, I missed '95 Freaknik because I came in May.
Okay.
So they had just had it. So I think 93, 94, and 94, 95 was the biggest years. But 93 and 94 was the biggest years. Then 95 was big. Then 96 was cool, and 97 was cool. But then like they started a whole movement to shut it down by blocking the streets off, routing the traffic back to the freeways. Because really, when you think about it, really Freaknik should have been something that somebody who was involved in Freaknik should have went to somebody and be like, let's organize this. Freaknik could have been a big brand like Woodstock or like Coachella.
Yeah, festival.
It could have been Freaknik could have been big, but now it's like the powers that be don't understand how big. Like they can still bring it back right now, but if you say that to some of the older people in Atlanta, they act like, oh no, we don't never want to bring that back. But if you brought it back as a brand and repackaged it and made it like a festival, it could be big right now. It could probably be the biggest black festival in the U.S.
They probably need to change the name.
It's gonna be something else if you change the name.
Right. I don't necessarily think you should change the name, but I mean, it's gonna be a different type of energy anyway.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. Organize that shit, make that shit right.
Yeah. I was here in '95. I was like 12. That shit blew my mind.
It's really like no other big traffic jam, just people everywhere.
I heard it was people. One of my homeboys,
because there was nothing ever organized. So really, like at night, it was just a big traffic jam. You know what I'm saying? People could move, going down Peachtree, take 45 minutes, an hour to go from 2 or 3 blocks. Girls getting out the car, dancing,
twerking in the car 4 deep. Changed my life. Yeah. It'll be too crazy.
Yeah.
They definitely would have to organize it, man.
So do you feel like that era in terms of the music in Freaknik, do you feel like that kind of changed the landscape of the South at all? Or was that just something that was already happening? And
I think the music was a big influence on starting Freaknik. I think some guy, because the story is a guy from Detroit actually started it. He was going to school in AU Center at Clark or Morehouse. He started Freaknik in his backyard. It was a cookout.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So that really tells you how the Midwest was connected to it. Because you remember, like, all the Midwest people used to come to Freaknik. Ohio, Detroit, St. Louis, everybody from Chicago, everybody from the Midwest would always come to Freaknik. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That's dope.
The school was a lot too, wasn't it? Like people didn't realize that too.
Well, it was started by college. He was in college.
It's based around the school, so like all them streets probably was just retarded.
It's just crazy how people that age, whenever something changes, it's always with them. You know what I'm saying? Like always that age bracket, the young people, 18, 19, 20, man, they have power to change the world. You know
I mean, if you look at it, bro, like most of them, they in college, bro. They got that. The people are there. You know what I'm saying? Like if you hot and you popping in school, I don't care what you do in college, bro. Like if you popping, bro, you got the following to change anything. Yeah. For real.
So another thing that I usually ask the OGs is, when as far as Atlanta, like even today, like when you listen to the radio. You know what I'm saying, maybe on your Sunday set or something like that, or when you go to the clubs, it seems like this sound really embraced Big. You know what I'm saying? Like it embraced Biggie real hard and Bad Boy and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And so I asked, like in terms of like the East Coast versus West Coast situation, you was there for that, like in the center of it, and Atlanta being one of the hubs that everybody went to. Like, how did you fall in line with that? Like, you know what I'm saying?
But Atlanta's on the East Coast.
Yeah.
It's on the east. It's pretty much on the East Coast, and where it sits, where it sits at in the middle of everything, and the amount of black population you got. A lot of the East Coast artists was hanging around and coming through Atlanta and moving to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Remember Eric Sermon and all them moved to Atlanta. Nas lived in Atlanta one time, so it's like a lot of the East Coast artists. A lot of them still live here and people don't even know it.
Yeah, because I mean, like when you go to the clubs, like I don't usually hear like a Pac set or like some DJs. It depends on where you go. Some DJs will.
See, like if you go to like Atlanta hip hop spot, like when the hip hop spots were like all in the Buckhead Midtown area, you go in those clubs, you'll hear more East Coast. You go on the South Side or the West Side, you'll hear, the Tupacs and those types of records. So it was just like in Atlanta, it was like you had people who like what they like went to different places.
Right.
So it was a difference. But the Atlanta music was what you heard. They kind of like bridged the gap.
Right.
So if you like the Atlanta music, but you like West Coast music, you might go to the West Side or you might go to the South Side. If you like East Coast music and you like Atlanta music, you might go to Buckhead, you might go to Midtown.
Okay, that makes sense. Cause I ain't gonna lie, like when I first got down here, the first time I ever came down here, the clubs was still in Midtown, like on
Kaya and.
I ain't gonna lie. I remember the name of Visions. I remember Visions. I know 112 was still open, and you know what I'm saying. Like it was.
But like back when you had Chili Peppers and all them Oxygen and all, they used to have a club in Atlanta called Oxygen, and they would have a live band. I think it was on Tuesdays. They would have a live band, and the artists would be in the club, and they had a room in the front. They'd be playing like house music and stuff. But you had a room in the back, was playing like hip hop. They had a live band. That's what Lil Jon and the Chronicle. Not Lil Jon the producer, Lil Jon the drummer. That drum for Beyonce and Janet Jackson and all them. He had a band called The Chronicle, and they used to play at Oxygen, play a set in between the DJ set. They would alternate, but Tony Braxton might be in there and perform with the band. MC Breed might be in there. Too Short might be in there, and they'll play their song and they'll perform with the band.
Man, I remember Breed. Man, Breed was a beast, dog. He was and he was from Michigan, right?
He's from Flint, Michigan.
Yeah. I remember him. His daughter down here too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, she rapped too, right?
Yep. She really sing, but she rapped.
Yeah, I remember I was performing one time and she had came in and did the show. She was nice too though. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's crazy how the landscape of the city changed so much because like I said, I remember like in Buckhead it was like clubs right next to each other and you could literally just walk in, have some fun, go out, go to another club, and they was just all right there on that one strip.
Yeah,
that was crazy, man. I mean,
say bananas, huh?
It was crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you, but it's like now more so. It just seemed like more people are gravitating to the strip clubs more so than the like regular clubs.
Yeah, because the Buckhead clubs, it came to a point to like I think like. The promoters kind of like messed it up for that because they went from the big clubs to the lounge clubs, and then they started charging for the sections rather than having a party, just like a lounge atmosphere. So it became more of a money situation than just a having fun atmosphere.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, was that due to people, the transplants coming here? You know what I'm saying? Because more people coming here, dog. Like I guess they wanted to monetize everybody coming.
But it just became a situation where, like, you know what I'm saying, if you came in a club and you wasn't in the VIP section, it was like you wasn't cool.
You wasn't nobody, yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So then it went from that to let's just make the whole club full of VIP sections and make it a lounge. So you and your crew got to come in and get a section in order to be popping. Or if you don't, you just walking around in a circle.
Yeah. Man. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's exactly how it is, especially because now me, you know what I'm saying, going out to more clubs and stuff like that, it's just not what I remember. Like I remember Compound, man, like when they had the little basement section.
Yeah.
Like them was some of the craziest parties I had ever been to, especially, you know what I'm saying, in Atlanta. But it's just not, they don't got the same feel no more.
I still like it, man.
I like
the lounge.
I like looking at titties different. That's it, man.
I don't think that's what it is.
That's it. There ain't nothing else. They ain't there kicking it. They ain't there on Snapchat doing what they want to do.
That's not
drinking.
Kicking it, though.
That's they kicking. You did your kicking. What kind of kicking did you do when you was in that motherfucker for real?
They just
think about shit.
He had no Snapchat.
Right. So he was in there paying attention to titties. Now you can't pay attention to titties because you're paying attention if you got how many of your fucking likes people got around this motherfucker. So it's different. That's it. I know I went to the strip club the other day, got forced in there, and literally I watched some people come in there and went on her and pretended they had the best time of their fucking life. On this motherfucker. You couldn't have kicked it because y'all right here crowded up like this. Y'all ain't kicking it. Flat the fuck out. We know. They weren't kicking it, right? Am I wrong? Right. You weren't kicking it, right? But you made these motherfuckers think you had a fucking ball. We in this bitch getting it. What it do? I got a nigga. You see us? You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's real. But I think it went to the strip clubs, like you were saying, because you can smoke and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like smoking play a big part in a lot of these clubs. Yeah. And then you can bring, you know what I'm saying? You can get away. I think dudes be getting away with their side pieces and all type of shit. Like people get away.
People in Atlanta and 90% of the clubs think when you pay your money and walk through the door, once you get searched and walk through the door and past that point, weed is legal.
It should be.
Here we go.
I think it should be no cigarettes. No black.
You're guaranteed to be smelling like live when you leave the club.
You feel me? Yeah. I ain't like that though.
Did you know, contrary to popular belief, dogs do not only sweat by salivating, they also sweat through the pores in their feet?
What the fuck? What'd you say? Again? I'm sorry.
He said still. Hey, did you know?
Why you think he put baking soda in his Jordans?
Yeah, bro.
He ain't gonna get you. You got a free one. Next time I'm gonna roast you.
Did you know? Did you know wearing yellow makes you look bigger on camera and green makes you look smaller? Just saying.
Green makes
you look smaller. I was wondering if you had a little jokey joke.
No, you ain't got no. Bro, you ain't got no yellow on, my dog.
Just making sure.
Boy, you done lost 60 pounds, boy, last year. What?
I'm trying, man.
So let me ask you a question, man. Throughout your career, you become a dot connector, man. You know what I'm saying? You've been linking a lot of people up. You know what I'm saying? Was that one of your goals, like coming up?
I mean, it's just natural.
It's just happening.
Yeah, it's just a natural thing.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man.
You introduced Jazzy Faye to Baby, right?
Yep.
How'd that happen?
Actually, when I did my first album, I was on my way to the airport to Delta Dash my masters to the labels so we could master the album. And Birdman called me. He had just got to Atlanta and said, "Where you at?" So I'm on my way to the airport to send these masters off. He's like, "How you gonna turn the album and I ain't did the song yet?" I'm like, well, I can't wait for you forever. So he's like, "I'm in Atlanta, come pick me up." So I went and picked him up. We went over to noontime to the studio and worked with Jazzy on the record, and we did the record that night. Mixed it, and I took it the next day and sent it off. And that's how that started the whole relationship with Jazzy and Birdman.
That's dope.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I want to ask you something too. First of all, that dude who raps over the Tila beat on your intro, that, you know what I'm saying, that did the Atlanta history, you know what I'm saying, who is that?
You don't know who that is?
I don't.
Who is?
You know who it
is? You don't know who it is?
Oh, now I don't feel that bad then. If he don't know, he's supposed to know. He don't know. I don't feel that bad. Oh, you know? Oh.
Damn,
he smacked that motherfucker. That's why I want to know.
This the hip hop historian right here. He don't even know.
I'm about to kill him.
He smacked that motherfucker.
I'm about to kill him and him. You don't know who that is?
On what? What's the question? On what it is? On
that
what?
It's 6 o'clock. Turn to Greg Street.
Oh, that's Zachary.
That's Big Zach.
That's Big Zach. That's who we were just talking about at the local green. He owned the local green in Atlanta.
Whoa, wait, dude.
Yeah. Man, you don't even know who was in here. I seen his interview. I said it too. I said they ain't talk about none of his life. They don't know. They straight was just talking about the food and you know what I'm saying? That was cool too. But they don't know Zach history. Like Zach got history.
Man, Zach wrote on Sierra My Goodies. Yeah. Zach wrote Them Boys with Jody Breed for Boys in the Hood.
Man, Zach was there.
That's crazy.
Zach
wrote a lot of the songs with Jazzy Faye.
Yeah.
A lot of big records.
And that's crazy because
Zach been eating off publishing for years.
Yes, sir. He going to his mailbox. Hey,
that's dope. Mailbox money.
In real life. But he owned the local green Atlanta. He just grand opening was the other day, man. Shout out to him.
That's
Zach the it. That's what it is. I didn't know he was talking about your intro. Hey, when I first got here, I said, Zach killed that. I never changed that. Can't nobody. I never changed
it. Breed did the first one.
I remember. I remember that one too.
The 6 o'clock time Street Rock.
Man.
That's Breed.
Yeah.
We had one in Dallas, and then when I moved to Atlanta, I went to Breed's house in Marietta. Because a lot of people think I knew Breed before Atlanta knew Breed. Like I was the first DJ in the world to play MC Breed records on the radio. Like before Flint, before Detroit, before Atlanta, before Chicago. So it's like, because a friend of mine in Houston, when I worked in Houston in 1990, a friend of mine, me and Al Breed were talking about this because everybody think like they know Breed, and me and Al Breed, we was over there talking about like, and Breed was like, bro, y'all don't even know Breed. Y'all knew Breed when he came to Atlanta. Like Street was put us on when he was in Houston. Man. So it was like a friend of mine. What happened was a friend of mine named Darren Gates. Darren Gates had a small little independent record company. I think the two guys who had Breed, they didn't know what to do with him. So they brought him to Darren. So Darren, he was just cool. He played the record for me one day. I was like, this shit is crazy. And that song was actually the biggest song and the theme song for the first Kappa Beach Party.
That's crazy. But dude, Big Zach, like, I just remember like, cause we like lyric, like we lyricists,
Zach,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can tell, even when somebody just, you know what I'm saying, doing something simple, you could tell when they could turn it on, when they, you know what I'm saying? And he just seemed like the way that he was rhyming, that he can really rhyme. And I was just wondering, did he have any more music?
Zach know what he's talking about. Zach know what he's talking about. Zach well-rounded. Zach know what he talking about.
I think Zach
got sense. He in and out. Like
Zach Daddy on the barbershop.
Zach the perfect person to
Zach Daddy on
like
one of the biggest barbershops at East Point. So like, he grew up with CeeLo and all them. All them guys grew up together.
That makes sense.
Zach got that.
And another thing in that, he said something about Atlanta used to say "hootie hoo," but that's when Master P stole it or something like that. Like, was it was an issue between No Limit and Atlanta?
For a second.
It was a little issue for a minute. They was tripping a little bit
because he ran with that.
Cause I remember that you know, we had Pastor Troy here. He said that he had you know, his issue with No Limit, but I ain't know that Atlanta had as a whole had an issue against No Limit.
They didn't really have it. Wasn't really Atlanta. The whole city didn't have an issue against No Limit. It was just when he made that song, you know, Outkast was. But they got right after, you got to think when Hootie Who came out, when Hootie Who came out, and then the second Outkast album came out, and the third album Outkast came out. They got so big, like that type of stuff didn't even really matter anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Hootie Who was on the first album. Yeah. So it's like they got so, you know, they crossed over and they got so big, you never really heard about them getting into like little hood beefs or, you know, record beefs with different people. Because, you know, I'm going to tell you, the biggest Outkast competition was Jay-Z and Outkast dropped the album on the same day. Man. Remember?
Was that Volume 2?
It might have been Aquemini.
Okay, that's 98, so
and it
Volume
was like,
2.
And it was like, the night before the numbers came out, Outkast was leading, and then when the numbers came out the next day, Jay-Z was number one. And it was like, Big Boy was furious. But Outkast ended up selling way more albums than he did in the end on that particular project.
That Aquemini was fire.
How do you remember about how many they? Because I don't remember. I know Jay sold like 6 million. I didn't know Aquemini did
what?
Like
you?
6.
I don't think Jay
Not that
sold
album.
6 million on that album, bro. Jay ain't never sold over 4 for real.
On Volume 2, he sold 6.
You sure?
H, you know.
Yeah, you know you get to.
You don't play like you ain't no
no
Hove stand.
Google the dates of which album it was. I can't remember which album it was.
It had to be that album though, because it was right.
Yeah,
there.
you don't know a fact about Jay-Z, H? Huh?
No, you don't. Get out here.
Oh, okay.
Since when?
And when you moved here,
swap out today,
95,
huh?
You said 95.
No, it had to be
when you moved here in 95.
I moved here in 95.
What was it work? Was it radio? For radio?
Yeah, I never came to Atlanta until I came here to do radio.
All right, so you went on like I just want to move to Atlanta.
Nah.
You was all for the job.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna ask you, what was your first career move when you touched down?
I was living in Dallas before I moved to Atlanta.
That's what's up, man. It was radio there.
You did radio before Dallas?
Houston.
In Houston. What was before that? What was your first?
Mobile, Alabama.
There it is.
So what was the
Mississippi before that?
How different was the culture in Texas than Atlanta? That's one place I ain't never been is to Houston.
Houston and Dallas. Houston and Dallas is cool. It's. Atlanta's just a whole different culture because of the background. because of the past, the history. It's a little different.
I heard in another interview where you actually tied in like the civil rights movement to what was going on today.
Yeah, like that's the backbone of Atlanta. So you got to think a lot of cities like Atlanta was big. Atlanta was big black before the King movement, before civil rights. It was big.
Right. Do you think so many people moving down here is kind of watering down the culture of Atlanta?
Some people say that, but I think people moving here because of that. They move here because of the culture. For the jobs and the cost of living, and that's part of the culture of the city.
Right.
Yo, I moved here on the film. I saw the film business moving, so we came down. But when we got here, I was like, damn, I can straight raise my family here. I'm talking about because the reason why is because the doctor was black, the police was black, my mayor named Keisha. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it got real. I was like, that's how I want my kids to grow up. I want that. That's a good feeling, dog. Like, to see that. Because I'm from St. Louis. I quit playing. You ain't finna see none of that.
Bro,
if you going to see a lawyer, you ain't finna see. You feel what I'm saying? You going to see. If you going to see anybody that can control your life, that got your life on the line, from politicians to lawyers, doctors. If you gonna die or not, boy, I quit playing all white. They ain't playing or no. It could be another.
White or other.
Yeah, it could be something else. But that's crazy.
Yeah,
that was
for
the
real.
first thing. You know what I'm saying? My youngest was born here, and it just was crazy. Black doctor, like it's just tight.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I love it, man. That's why we moved here, man.
You got stuff like Slutty Vegan and all that kind of stuff that would never
going ham in 12 weeks. Else.
Yeah,
like
just
the support, man.
Like, with local green, like it be around. It's just
the
around
support,
the
bro.
Like I'm like, yeah, that's what it is, bro, and we see it. So the black dollar gonna start circulating, and it's gonna start here in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what DC exactly doing, but it's doing something here. I like that.
So let me ask you a hip hop question, because I like the debate. Who do you feel like had the most impactful career in terms of hip hop in Atlanta? Now I'm a remove Outkast, and the reason why is because from the beginning I feel like Outkast belong to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Even though they from here, we embraced them in St. Louis. Everybody who you know what I'm saying, especially after Aquemini, everybody embraced Outkast. So minus them, who would you say had the most impactful career
in Atlanta?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you who I think.
T.I.
That's exactly who I was gonna say. What made you say T.I.?
Kane, man.
T.I. was just like he was like a different person when he came out. Like he wasn't afraid to be brutally honest. He wasn't afraid to, put his nuts on the line for what he believed in. Like if you go back and look at the first interview when T.I. did Rap City, everybody thought he was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because he got on there and said, "I'm the king of the South." People like, "Whoa, who is this guy?" Nobody even knew who he was. You know what I'm saying? But in his mind, he's looking at what he think he can do 5-10 years from now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes when you're a visionary, it takes the world some time to catch up.
Yeah, to you,
to what you can see. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people go through that. Like, and some people have the vision sometimes too, but they don't know how to be patient enough to give themselves the time to understand that the world don't see what you see when you look in the mirror. Some people don't know how to deal with it the right way.
I feel it. I feel like I was gonna say T.I. because like he was the first artist, like to me, and me being from the Midwest, I feel like he gave Atlanta a sound. Like he was a face and a sound that I could put with this place that I'm not too familiar with. You know what I'm saying? Because like, the stuff that he was talking about, I wanted to know more. And then I happened to come down here when they was breaking 24s, and I saw the impact that he had on this city. Like it was crazy.
But see, you gotta think when you look at T.I., okay, he was a young kid from the streets, but DJ Toomp was making the music. Mm-hmm. So you gotta think DJ Toomp made records for Luke. He made records for MC Shadi. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he had somebody on his side producing him that was just a beat maker.
Right.
He had a real producer. So like all them songs you love, like Dope Boys in the Trap and 24s and all them type of records, DJ Toomp produced those records.
I love Toomp.
So it's like he had a balance, but his balance was kind of like a ghost. So people, because Toomp wasn't like Puffy, he wasn't like Suge, he wasn't like a lot of producers who, it's me. So if you didn't know and you wasn't paying attention to it, you didn't really understand the balance. Not taking anything away from Tip.
No,
right.
You know what I'm saying? But he had somebody who could really have some help, who could really have some influence over and give him a balance of what he was trying to get across. Because if you think about the first record they put out was the record with Beanie Man that Pharrell produced.
I'm serious.
So it's like it's the label thinking I got a Pharrell beat, I got Beanie Man on the record, it's gonna be big. Yeah. But that wasn't what Tip really was.
Right.
So those aren't the records. It was a dope record.
Yeah, I love that.
And it probably would have been a dope third or fourth single if they would have led with, Dope Boys in the Trap and Still Ain't Forgave Myself, and if they let him introduce himself as who he really was, and then came with those records. But you know what I'm saying, he ended up getting dropped from the label, released from the label, and grinding it out. Then you heard the 24s and you heard all that stuff, and then he came into his own.
Yeah, it's crazy sometimes getting dropped from the label. The best thing that ever happened to you, boy.
Lady Gaga, Akon.
That's crazy.
That's deep.
But and on top of that, like
your boy, Wiz.
Yeah, Wiz Khalifa.
Wiz Khalifa.
Yep.
Yeah, that was.
There's a lot of artists that have been dropped from labels and then come back and.
Yeah, and then on top of that, he could really rap, and you know what I'm saying. Like I said, Outkast, they was universal. Not to say that T.I. wasn't universal, but he was still Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like when you hear him in interviews, he talk like, you know what I'm saying, in the dialect and
Big Boy and them too. They still was doing that. South got something to say.
I mean, and that's true, but I just, me personally, and it could just be me, but I just didn't identify them to Atlanta like I did with T.I.
I think
crazy.
No,
I didn't. They belong to everybody.
No, it's just because you're not the biggest. You couldn't be the biggest fan of them because I'm such and such age. And I'm straight up riding down, goddamn. And when I see the low, you feel what I'm saying? You feel like when I'm riding around and seeing certain shit, man, still to this day, it take me back to the first album. Like, that's what they said. When he said been here, been real, I ain't think he said that. I thought he said something else. But I had to know Gip to even find out that he said been here. And I'm like, that shit is crazy. Like, that shit, like, that Atlanta, I don't know. Like, I don't see it. When I see, you know what I relate T.I. to more so than anything down there? Bankhead. Like it wouldn't even say ATL. He go deep. It's like us with UCD and shit. It go deeper in Atlanta. Louis, but when you say ATL, if you go to fucking Australia or goddamn yonder, stop playing. I don't see how they didn't.
I'm gonna tell you why he said it. I'm gonna tell you why he said it.
Who?
The reason why he said
That's
it.
my brother though, Tip.
But the reason why he said that is because the thing that really made T.I. big was he was one of the first artists that was a street rapper that everybody liked. You know what I'm saying? Like me and Jermaine made a bet one time. I think it was the King album came out, and Jermaine was like, he ain't gonna sell that many first week. Because he ain't cross over and blah blah. I said, but Jermaine, what you don't understand is, for him to be a street rapper, for him to be a dope boy rapper, women like him, kids like him, men like him. He was one of the first rappers like that all walks of life of black people like. So he didn't really have to cross over to sell. Yeah. Yeah, but he didn't really have to sell. He didn't really have to sell a lot of, because you got to think. Now you got to think during this time, if he just had a small percentage of crossover people that was buying his music, he was. But he had, because you got to think like with Jeezy. Jeezy had guys. You know what I'm saying? Right. If Jeezy had guys, your kid, you even let your kid listen to Jeezy. Right. But Tip was the artist that women like, young girls like. men like, young men like, rappers like, everybody liked them. And from the urban culture, everybody liked them, and that was something that nobody had never really seen in hip hop.
Yeah, I can see that, but he my top. Tip my top 5 in live. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even. That's the first thing. We can do all the antics and who like who, but he can fucking rap.
Yeah, he can.
Like it's, at the end of the day, Jay can rap. Like, that's the whole thing. T.I. can rap, and that's what he doing. And like, that's what I see with that shit. Like, crazy. But I was just talking because I couldn't believe 93 was in Atlanta. That's all I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? You did say without Outkast.
But you gotta understand something. When Outkast came out, when Outkast first came out, they was like, the organized noise sound was like the next. It was like the next generation of where Scarface left off on the first album, on the Southern Playalistic album. It was like Rap-A-Lot meets Atlanta almost. Like, Organized had their own sound. How when Scarface came out, he had his own sound. Nobody had music like that in the South before Scarface came out. So Outkast came out with the music, but it was hood. Southern Playalistic ain't no thing. It was hood. But by them being so young and they were no dope boys, so they weren't talking about that. But they were talking about street stuff. But after every album Outkast progressed, they went up and up and up. T.I. kind of stayed in the streets. He always stayed in the streets a little bit. I was
gonna say T.I. career did that though. T.I. career did this though. Like,
but the reason why is because everybody from the urban culture liked him. All aspects of black people liked T.I. All demographics. And then he did have some crossover too. Right. He came out with the Rihanna records and all them records.
That's why
he crossed over, but he still
Outkast crossed over a whole lot faster, and they went way over.
Oh man! Because when I was young, listening to Outkast, I didn't picture them being hood.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know they until I got older. I didn't know they was talking about street shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, just being from the hood. Like, until I got older, like they all of them in the hood, bro. From Dungeon Family to everybody. You know what I'm saying?
I think it was a poverty-driven album. A lot of it was talking just about how the government treat us. Like, they went ham to getting some pussy on the same end. Like, they was doing it. They was everywhere. That's the reason why we rap.
I ain't really get off into like understanding how hood they were until I got into the Goody Mob albums. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, from Outkast to Goody Mob, and I'm like, oh, hold up. I'm like, okay, they talking some real stuff. So, yeah, man.
I called it the Georgia Wu-Tang. Like, I thought it was just like woo. When I heard the beats and the grimy and the dirt, man, that's all I felt. And then they was spitting like that. I'm like, stop playing. That shit was hard.
So I'm gonna throw my second choice in there. What about Future? Do you think Future has one of those type of?
Future was a part of Dungeon Family.
Yeah, I know. He also made some noise in St. Louis before he ever got on for real. You know what I'm saying? He was up there with Black on Black now.
Yeah, Gucci O.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But I think Future got one of those careers that, and if somebody said him, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't be mad because of what he's done, how long he's been in the spot that he has, and the amount of music that came from that run.
Future put a lot of records up,
and the amount of artists who emulate him. His cultural impact is crazy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
he's impactful.
Yeah. I if somebody said, I mean, of course I'm gonna say T.I., but if somebody said Future, I wouldn't be mad at him. So
I don't think it's no one thing. That's one place that you can never do a one thing to. I think this is one place that you're gonna have to put them all into a pot because it's the first place you ever seen that did this shit correctly. This is what New York was supposed to do, but they didn't. They kept separating the borough. They kept separating the boroughs. Kept separating. They got northeast, west, sir. You know what I'm saying? But on some real shit, this the first time you ever seen circle of some shit, bruh. You can't even say who leading, who doing what. It's one circle, and they all needed to make it look like what it's looking like, and that's dope.
You know, and that's a good segue into my next question, because you said that Atlanta is not as unified as the rest of the world thinks. Like, what did you mean by that?
I mean, a lot of people that you see in the music game that do music, they don't really. It's just so much, so everybody think it's like that. But you still have a lot of people that don't cross paths.
Right on.
You know what I'm saying?
And they don't have to, because I said that too. I was saying people think like Atlanta, man, they be helping each other. Then I'd be like, that's dope. They do songs together, but in real life, man, everybody. I'm talking about. It's not really a lot of them on the same label at all. All you got is QC with people on the same label. Everybody else got their own label, own situation at a big label, or they independent. You feel what I'm saying? Doing their own thing. I'm talking about like, and it's a million of them. I'm talking about y'all do radio shows. The other station do radio shows. Everybody got a radio show, and it's at least 8 artists from Atlanta on all of them. I was like, man, this is crazy. And ain't nobody had to pull nobody up. Ain't nobody had to do shit. Yeah, I can do a song with you. I don't know if they might have charged me. You never know. If you got the correct bag, we don't know what it is. I watch producers. They charge. Like, so all that shit and people be talking, nah, they charging your ass. Yeah. But on some real stuff, like, they straight on different labels. I can see that like a motherfucker. Like you ain't got to. And that's why I tell my people, like, man, quit thinking like that. Just go. Just go. Right. It'll all meet up. When you see a gang of niggas working hard, it's gonna all meet up, bro.
Yeah. He can tell you off microphone and off camera about some first hand Atlanta guys who they work together but they don't work together. He can tell you.
You gotta keep
off camera.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna keep that off camera.
Right. Murph ain't gonna tell you anything.
It's deeper than
right. Murph, Mr. Peace, love, everything.
Murph gonna be like,
man,
everybody's happy.
Business around here, man.
Yeah, say shit.
What I look like telling Burger King about McDonald's.
You feel me? This guy. Hey man, so we was debating. I think it was it last week or the week before last, man. You know, Joe Budden and Sci High been going back and forth about a battle, man. Who you think will win, man?
Sci.
That's what I said. I said the same thing. Sci High a beast. Sci High is a savage, man. That's one of my favorite
what kind of
lyricists,
question
bro.
was that?
I got Budden.
He got Joe Budden.
I got Budden in a smooth 3-0.
Anybody can like Joe Budden all you want, but bars. I don't even know why Joe tight. Joe tight, but come on, quit putting him in the category where the bars belong. Like,
listen,
he tight.
Saha got some dope punchlines, dog. I'm not taking nothing away from him, dog.
Wrap circles around Joe.
You crazy.
How you get connected with Saha, man? I know you. I think he didn't do one of his mixtapes.
A lot of his tapes.
Yeah. Jack of all trades.
He's kind of hooked up. He had he was in a group called Hoodlum, and they were signed to Def Jam, but he was like the main rapper in the group. And then when he went solo, I started working with him a lot and doing mixtapes, doing videos. I talked to him yesterday. He's finishing up his project. They finished up some new stuff with Kanye now. But he like I like Joe, but he ain't ready.
He don't want no smoke.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro.
Joe know too. He don't want to. First of all, Joe gone, retired. He ain't trying to rap on nothing. But battling, he ain't even got to do that, man. I can see Joe making a song before you talking about battling somebody. You don't battle.
I can't remember which mixtape.
I guarantee you, you like hip hop. I guarantee you, if you go back and listen to Sci-Hi first 4 or 5 mixtapes tonight, and we ask you that same question tomorrow, you like,
change his mind. You gonna change his mind?
I'm gonna go back and listen. I remember the NAACP project. That was the one that I thought was.
You gotta go back. You gotta go back, bro. Like Ivy League, all that, bro. Like I think we going out of town. Me and wifey, bro. She knocked out, bro. I'm playing Sci-Hi. She woke up like that nigga snapping and went back to sleep, bro. I'm like, he is savage, bro. He is savage. Yeah, he is savage, bro.
Man, I guess
you got to run the mixtapes, bro.
What's Joe's biggest record?
Pump it up.
Pump it up, cuz. What's our biggest record?
I asked you a question.
I start off.
What? Pump it up. You came to get it. Boy, don't play with it.
He said you came to get it on.
Man, I don't feel it. I don't do that. I don't feel it. I don't do that.
Man, he can rap. We all know Joe Budden can rap.
The mood music mixtapes, he was spitting bars, bro. But I'm more of a Sci-Hi fan, man.
Joe, stop.
Cause Sci-Hi tell you a story, bro, and throw punchlines in there, and it all makes sense, bro. And it all be collected.
Nigga ain't rapping shit.
Ali just called. He chimed in. He said Joe Budden's deadly. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Joe Budden, bro. Budden hard.
They both got bars, bro. But I'm going with. I put my bro. If I bet my last on Sci-Hi, bro.
Hey.
It's just
If we betting.
Man, stop, man.
It's just cause we in the A, man. That's all it is, man. We just in the A.
Stop. Hey, Sci-Hi running this situation does not make Joe Budden whack.
No, we ain't saying.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, stop though. Like,
I think Joe,
right now today.
I think
with Joe Budden focusing on what he focusing on, you're not finna fuck with no Sci-Hi. Sci-Hi in that mode.
He said if you
Man,
get,
y'all
you gotta
heard
give him a
Sci-Hi
month.
last shit.
You say give him a month. You know what I'm saying? Month and a half, he'll be back on his
He didn't
shit.
say that to Eminem.
But they've been
Who he
talking
said that to
about this-
Eminem?
They've been talking about this since
Cause he
before
ain't
the
need
Now he
it.
coming out of retirement.
He ain't need it for Eminem.
Now he coming out of retirement for Sci-Hi. But he wouldn't come out of retirement for Joe for fucking Eminem, the biggest shit he could have came up off of. What the fuck is you talking about?
But what he
Stop,
said
man.
made
Go.
sense though.
What made
Eminem
sense?
haven't been Eminem for a minute.
What they gotta do with
He just
him writing?
lost the
What they gotta
MGK.
do? And Eminem fucked him up and he didn't do shit. And everybody wanted him to do something.
He ain't been
and
Joe
didn't
Budden
do
for a
shit.
minute.
And now he wanna do
see, here we
something.
go.
Stop,
He ain't
man.
been Joe Budden for a
Fuck
minute.
that.
Man,
Man, that man-
them three
hey.
Drake disses was pretty fire.
Man, stop, man. He been
Them three
retired
Drake
from that.
disses.
He been retired from that, and they wasn't pretty fire. What was how it
I
started off?
don't even remember none of them.
Don't do
What it
that.
was called?
Don't do that.
I don't remember none
Cause
of
you
them,
listen
bro.
to diss
That's
records
what we
like
do.
once or twice unless they like classic shit.
remember that.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
remember
Don't
that?
bring him up
Hey,
no more.
I'm gonna give you
Don't
my
bring him
opinion.
up in the
I'm gonna give you my
convo no
opinion to
more.
that though. I think Joe missed a golden opportunity to go find him a hit record while he had all that beef, all that stuff going on
With Drake.
with anybody. He got a whole platform where he could really put some records out and really sell and really make some noise. Like he could be on a Joe Budden's world tour with just 3 or 4 new hot records out.
Man,
The crazy thing is he touring off the podcast.
that's what he's supposed to be doing. He doing what he's supposed to.
Yeah,
Hey,
but
shout
I
out to David
guarantee
Banner,
you-
man. Hey, he doing what he's supposed to be doing.
I
But in
guarantee
real
you-
life, music wise, he should have did nothing but fucking the group shit. You understand? The group shit was super dope. Y'all should
Slaughterhouse
be touring.
joint.
Yeah, man, they could be eating like no other. All y'all should be doing that. And probably the reason why they not doing it is cause of Joe Bud. Shitting me. That's fucked
He
up.
said that. He actually said
I
that
know
on
that.
the
He
podcast.
all of a sudden want more and everything. I'm telling you. Hey, look.
No, he felt like they wasn't
working.
getting the support from Shady that they, you know what I'm saying, that they were
Man,
supposed to
that ain't
get.
got nothing to do with touring and putting out whatever music you want to put out in the world. You're independent.
Yeah, but you don't sign to Shady just to keep doing your independent thing. You sign to Shady because Shady has the backing
The
to
backing
help
to do
you,
what?
to push you forward,
Push you forward on what?
put
What
you
was
in front
doing
of
already?
more
What
in
you
front
was
of more
doing
people.
already? In front of
Shady
more
can put
people,
his
you think that?
Eminem
Do you
can use
think
his
that?
platform.
You think that's what
Yeah,
people
He
doing?
took him on tour.
that's what Gucci do.
He took him on tour.
I mean, yeah, he took him on tour, but that ain't
This
like
nigga just say that's what Gucci do.
that is.
Don't compare Gucci to Eminem. Gucci way better than Eminem in putting people in good situations.
That's my point.
Everybody ain't good at that shit. Michael Jackson wasn't good at that shit. Everybody ain't good at that shit, man. It's only one P. Diddy, only one motherfucking baby. Only one motherfucking Rick Ross, only one motherfucker. If you name it, it's a million fucking rappers, of 20 million good ones, and motherfucker, they ain't that business. They ain't got that business. They can't handle that business. They ain't them type of leaders. You understand what I'm telling you? Quit trying
And he
to make
said
people
that's what he
push when-
discovered, and that's why he
Nah.
decided he didn't want to be on the label no more.
He's supposed to not want to be on the label. Get off the label, and you four go get together and go do that tour. And let me get on. I'm talking like Dame Dash right now. I need to get off my shit. It's some bullshit.
But,
I ain't
but
talking
the
about
crazy
nothing,
thing
man.
is, you saying everything that Joe Budden said though.
he can. I know.
You saying the exact
I
same
know,
thing.
Joe. I know. And he shouldn't say what he's saying to Sahai. I ain't even heard what he said to Sahai. But all I heard was that he would give him a month to battle. Is you
They've been
serious?
talking about this since before the BET Hip Hop Awards. You know how long ago that's been?
Yeah.
Do it.
What's wrong with Budden,
Make some
dog?
money off
You
of
think
it.
it'll happen,
Budden gonna
though?
make some money off of that.
Don't think it'll
Hey, to
happen?
make some money off of it,
Nah.
I'll do it. Man, do
Nah,
that shit
put
pay
Joe
per
Budden out
view.
of business.
Sorry, I ain't
He
responded
said, but
yet, though.
said
haven't
mess
you?
up his
Yes, he
little
did.
podcast.
What'd he say?
Do that shit
Google
pay per
it.
view.
Put the bars out. Side put the bars out. That made Joe say something to him.
Yeah, say
Side the one
something.
talking about put the 500,000 up.
Say
The
something.
whole thing.
Say something.
Man, he's in the booth.
Say something. Bet the kids money.
I contemplate on that.
Man. man.
I'm gonna tell you how. I'm gonna tell you how dope Sahai is. I'm gonna tell you how dope Sahai is.
Me too, though.
I can play some records that'll blow your mind. I'm gonna tell you how dope Sahai is. Joe Budden was on Shady, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who you think got more money? Eminem, Paul Rosenberg, or Kanye?
Yeezy. I say Yeezy.
Paul Rosenberg.
No, combine them two together. Combine Paul and M. Who you think got more money? Paul Rosenberg and Eminem combined, or Kanye?
Oh well, Kanye because of his outside ventures.
I'm gonna go with M and Paul.
I'm gonna say Kanye's.
I'm gonna say Kanye because I've been seeing Kanye on them Forbes lists when Eminem was, you know, kind of lower, and plus Eminem made his money off of solely music. He ain't
got some shit going on in life.
Now.
No, they got shit going on in life. They ain't gotta put their name on everything. Everybody gotta be fucking you. You ain't gotta put your name on every bill you got, man. Stop.
So
man.
What else? So what he got?
And everybody ain't Rick Ross who gonna say Wingstop. Some people just gonna have a Wingstop and not gonna say I got a Wingstop. Man, it's shit going on, bro. Your money ain't just sitting there. Man, do you know your money don't make shit just sitting there, man? We gotta turn this motherfucker to a knowledge thing.
Yeah.
Hey. Your money don't do shit in them punk ass banks. So do something with it. Them motherfuckers is doing something with their money. They got people behind them saying do something with their money. They got some other money that we ain't never seen in our life.
I want to know the answer to the question.
That's just the answer.
You ain't finished answering the question. I want you to answer the question.
I said Kanye.
You say Kanye?
Mm-hmm. Kanye was a rapper. Kanye produced. Kanye got shoes and clothes, and
he charging 2 bands for a T-shirt.
He had Virgil.
Yeah.
That's the way.
I'm going with Kanye.
He probably got more money, cuz.
Right now, Kanye.
I don't know. I think Kanye's though, because of what he shows us. From what he shows us, I think Kanye's active money, active shit going on.
Plus the fact that Sahai is your man, I'm pretty sure that this is gonna be so.
Not to ask the question.
I went with M and Paul.
So you
gonna
give it the answer, man?
No, I ain't gonna give you the answer.
Oh, see.
Did you know?
Did you know?
Gotta stop counting motherfuckers' money
real quick. Did you know putting sugar on a wound or cut will greatly reduce pain and speed up the healing process?
Damn, it's the opposite of salt, huh?
Mm-hmm. Did you know the number of births that occur in India each year is higher than the entire population of Australia? They over there.
Indians getting it in.
They getting it in, but bunky.
A country bigger than
They getting it, but bunky.
Human trafficking.
A whole.
Oh shit!
Buy one get one free.
Oh man. We going viral tomorrow, baby.
Take us off the air.
Damn man.
So let me ask you this, man. What do you think is the most important thing in terms of this new era? Because the thing, like at one point in time when you was trying to get on, you had to run to, first of course you test your music, probably open mics, then you go to the DJs and the DJs have to play your stuff. You know what I'm saying? With it being a direct to consumer market, what do you think is something that's important for new artists to know?
That the music business is not science. It's more to the music business, just making a record. Everybody producing, everybody rapping, everybody singing. Everybody can make a song, but most people don't know what to do with it. So there's no certain way to do it. You know what I'm saying? There's no chemistry to it. It's still art. So some people may go straight to the DJ. Some people may go straight to social media. Some people may go straight to YouTube. It's no certain chemistry to do it. Some people build a fan base off of their personality, off of their swag, and then if they decide they want to rap, they already got a lot of people that like them. Then they put a record out, and if the record is good, people gonna like it because they already have a foundation. So some people think the world see what they see when they look in the mirror, and they think they gonna blow up because they put a record out, and then they find out I wasted 20 records because I didn't know what I was doing.
How would you do it if you had a good record?
I mean, it would just depend. First of all, you have to promote your music in the areas and to the audience who likes your type of music. You know what I'm saying? If you make jazz music, you don't go to the trap club. You know what I'm saying? If you make real hip hop records, you don't go to the hood to the trap clubs. You got to go to the clubs where people that like your type of music. That's not to say that the other people won't start to like it, but you have to start it with the real foundation of what it's about.
Yeah.
Because you know, most of us we dick riders.
Facts.
So a lot of artists who you just say if you sell 2 million records, you might not really have but 500,000 or 250,000 real fans. But you might put out a hot record or have a good album and sell 2 million albums based off the music. Just because you sell 2 million albums, depending on who the person is, does not mean you have 2 million fans. Yeah. Some people he might might go buy Sci-Hi tape because you said that, but really he's not a Sci-Hi fan. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And he may play it for some other people. They may go buy it because he was playing it. He liked good music. And his people may go buy it. They might not be Sci-Hi fans. But it all come back to you. Yeah. You're a real fan. So you may only account for a certain percent of people who really are real fans of the music.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But some people think because Master P said he sold records out the trunk of his car, I can sell my music out the trunk of my car. Or if Nelly did it this way, I could do it like this. Or Jermaine Dupri said on the interview, he did it like this, I can do it that way. Or Birdman said he did it like this. Like everybody's trying to emulate people, but if we got 4 people sitting here, if all 4 of us look at one picture, we're gonna see 4 different things. Yeah. So if you can't, it's hard to try to get the results of what somebody else did, looking at what they did from the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm. That's deep.
So with the internet being what it is, do you think that it's as important for new artists to travel and get out of their town as it used to be?
Yeah, I mean and it depends on the artist, because you got to think the internet only connects to you. The internet connects to you through your foundation. So the more people talking about you outside of the internet, of course they're on the internet too, so they're going to talk about you on the internet. So the internet is just like the barbershop. It's just like, you know what I'm saying, it's just like going to the record store, hanging out in the mall, going to your favorite boutique. People around those places talk about you. People around the internet talk about you. So most people who take forever to build a following on the internet are those people who think that I'm so dope, everybody about to follow me. Yeah. But if you put a record out and nobody in your community didn't even know you put a record out, how you expect people outside of your community to understand what it is that you're doing? You got a better shot of having 5, 10, 15, 20, 30,000 people from your home area or wherever you travel to that you connected to talk about you online. You just can't be you on the line talking about yourself.
Yeah. It's like DMing you got a new record, you DM it to a stranger that you don't know on IG versus sending it to your homeboy who been waiting for new music from.
And your homeboy gonna send it to somebody.
You gonna send it to somebody.
Or your homeboy gonna play it for somebody. Like you said, you was playing Sci-Hi in your car and your wife woke up. Yeah. Like, wow, he's snapping. Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way. So she gonna talk about it.
Exactly.
In a whole nother element to somebody else.
Right.
And that's how you expand your fan base. It's not just about you thinking I'm gonna put this online today and it's gonna blow. People send me DMs all the time to look at their video, listen to their record. You go to YouTube, click on the link. The video been out for 6 months and they got 200 views.
Yeah. Exactly.
You could have watched the video 1,000 times yourself.
You know what? I ain't gonna lie, man. I really hate that because, like, it could be some really, really dope music and people won't even take the time to listen to it because the numbers ain't at a certain place. I hate that.
It's some really dope cars on the market that people don't drive because people don't say they hot.
Yeah, but
that don't make it cool. I still don't like it. It's
the same thing. It's some really dope quality clothes out that people don't wear because people not talking about them.
Flat out. You can't be selling. First of all, you're putting yourself on a list of people that got 1 million trillion views. Why don't you put your shit somewhere else where, you feel what I'm saying?
I just feel like art should be different though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's why it's
because it's subjective. So you don't like. I shouldn't wait till your stuff get to 2 200,000 views before I decide to even listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I hate that part of the game because it's a lot of dope artists out there who just don't have the business.
That's what I just told you. We just talked about that.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of people making records who don't know what to do with them.
That's a fact.
There's a lot of people making clothes who don't know what to do with them.
That's a fact.
There's a lot of barbers who know how to cut hair who don't know what to do with it.
I just don't. I hate that part of the game. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's one of the reasons I still buy. You know what I'm saying? If I bump into a cat, I still buy a burnt CD for the 5. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not buying.
I mean,
but it might be that video on YouTube that didn't get 200 views.
I don't agree with none of
that. I don't buy a burnt CD because one, I have nothing to play it on, and two,
you're so futuristic.
Two, I just feel like if
buy that burnt USB.
I mean, I don't see nobody selling burnt USBs, but I mean, if I would be more than likely to, I'm the type of person, because y'all know I still buy music. Yeah, I'm the type of person that will scroll up Instagram, see you sponsor your shit, and I click on it and I like what I hear and I'll buy it like that. But I just feel like that means you take your craft more serious.
I mean, I've always understood that. They used to say that all the time, man, when we was burning CDs, but we didn't have the money. You know what I'm saying? We ain't have
cost nothing to put your stuff on.
Back then, bro, we was broke, bro. Like I was broke back then. I'm putting a sticker on. I might put marker on that joint. You know what I'm saying? Or if we got money, we gonna get some stickers to put on it till we get to a point where we could get graphics and shrink wrap it, bro.
I mean,
it's all a process. So I would still buy an underground, because that's just like you saying. You just contradicted yourself a little bit, my dog.
Not really.
Because you say, yo, why would it take you to click on a song that's at 2 million views? If it's dope, it's dope. If it's at 2 views, it burnt.
I'm talking about quality, the quality of the packaging, the quality of the music. That's not.
Cats, that's all they got, bro.
It costs more to burn CDs than it do to put your shit on Apple Music.
I don't know about that.
But this the big disconnect in the business. People think because they know how to make a record, that's all they got to do. It's still a business. If you got your business plan on your computer to own a business, but you don't have the money to build a business, you got to figure out how to get the money to build a business. Exactly. You got to figure out how to build a company. A lot of people don't look at their music careers as a business, but they got to have all the resources that it take to compete with what's in the marketplace, to be a fixture and try to get your career to where you're trying to get it. It's a business. It's still a business. If you don't have the money to press up the CDs, if you don't have the money to do what you need to do, to go to the studio or whatever, you got to find some investors or go work a job and figure out how to get the money.
I feel it.
Or figure out if you want to have fame or money. That's the whole thing.
For real.
You want fame.
What you mean by that?
Sometimes it come with it, bro.
You want to be the #1 rapper in the world.
Don't you?
I do. There we have it. I do. There we have it. So you're gonna have questions like you're having.
I want somebody
money.
to say that
nigga. Show you some mathematics.
You ain't burnt no CD for me?
You say what?
You ain't burnt
no CD?
I could send you my SoundCloud link.
How many views
or,
you got?
Or 30. I got
how many plays on your SoundCloud link?
I got a couple thousand on Spotify.
A couple thousand?
Yeah, man.
He went double aluminum foil.
Yeah, man.
He's double aluminum foil.
Hey, man. The people who listening to me. We
had a cypher here last month, man. I bodied these cats.
What?
Oh yeah, they got bodied.
This nigga lying.
They got bodied.
Niggas be lying, B. Niggas lie every day, B.
They got bodied.
You got 1,000 jumps on your jump.
Yep.
1,000 times 100 is what?
100,000.
Get them 1,000 people to spend $100 with you a year, and you'll have $100,000 a year. You ain't never got to do all that other shit you be doing in life.
See, Murph's smart.
Y'all laughing. What's funny about that? I don't.
Or you keep shooting for fame and try to be the #1 in the world.
You can't have both.
You gotta appreciate you gotta appreciate what you got. If you take what you got, you can make $100,000 in music and rap money right now per year. If you take them 1,000 people in your phone that love your country ass and make them spend $100 with you a year, whatever it is, whether it's just one sweatshirt and a CD that's $30. Like I'm talking about $100 a year. That's $100,000. That's all I'm trying to tell you.
That's not bad either.
You figure it out later because you're a smart guy.
Yeah,
it's not bad either. It's a having the game, man. Before
I told you, Murph's smart, man.
Did you know about 10% of the U.S. households pay their bills in cash?
I can believe that.
That's deep. That's deep.
What you say? What is it about paying bills? I hate that shit.
Did you know about 10% of the U.S. households pay their bills in cash? That's an old school player back when the
what percentage of the people cash their checks at the check cashing joint? Them the people who pay their bills in cash.
Yeah, because they taking a percentage of that,
buddy. I pay
buddy.
some bills in cash.
I can't remember the last time I paid a bill in cash.
That's back when we had the food stamp bills.
I done paid a few mortgage bills or motherfucking rents and shit around yonder on some cash.
You said, what's some cash? Before we go, man, what's your top 5 DJs, man? Like most influential DJs to you coming up into now?
I get a money order.
DJs, influence to DJs. I would say, as far as like hip hop DJs, you say Flex, Funkmaster Flex, Mr. Magic, Red Alert, Uncle Al, like radio DJs like Tom Joyner, Russ Parr. Who else?
I never heard of Uncle Al.
Yeah, I ain't never heard of Uncle Al either.
Miami, Uncle Al passed away.
Too young, yeah. Uncle Al.
I'm a
man. Check him out.
Man, Groovy Lou from MIAO.
Who else? Slick Leo from New Orleans. Barry Richards was a radio DJ in New Orleans. Who else? That's about it.
Who you got winning the Super Bowl?
These nuts. The Saints. The Falcons.
Cause be mad the Falcons didn't win. Now it's these nuts because the Falcons ain't going. See how niggas do?
It'll be big. It's gonna be like games like the Super Bowl is big for both situations. You gotta think like the coach of the Rams from Atlanta. One of the big players from Atlanta.
Last time we won the Super Bowl, we was in Atlanta.
Yep. Rams won in Atlanta. It's big for Tom Brady.
Holla at him.
But it's number 6.
Sagittarius know everything.
If New England win, what Tom Brady had was 6 rings.
He already to go.
Who the beast, cuz?
He already to go.
If the game is going to be in some cheat mode, we know who gonna get it. But if it go down on a good day, on a good Sunday, because any given Sunday, Rams gonna be on old man.
You don't know about that cheating, man, because the Rams just got cheated for too.
I ain't talking about that kind of cheating.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the kind of cheating that's gonna get you. I'm talking about that kind of cheating that's gonna make your life legendary. My cat like, I got more than Kobe.
You said what?
You want to be the best sports player ever in history.
Yo, before we go
shoot for shit like that, he like you. He want to be number 1.
I do. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Well,
you know what? It don't matter as much to me.
Oh, don't man! I always want to be number man. Come on,
he want them
man, jumping out.
Listen, I want to.
He want the 1,000 people to spend $100 with him.
I just want to be heard, man. Like Jay said, I just want to be heard.
He want them 1,000 people to spend $1,000 down.
Hey man, ever since the cipher, ever since the cipher, cuz he just want to be heard now.
Man, get the fuck out of here! I'll smash both of y'all niggas.
You got body, bro.
No, I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
Look, he mad. Now he got body.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Put the beat on. Put a beat on.
Do it now. Look at it. You radio mother.
Put a beat on.
Hey, we do it. He talking about do it now.
Put the beat on.
What you waiting on?
Say something right now.
Ooh.
These us. Hit
Hit the beat, Primo.
Yo, my man Gage got a question before we get out of here.
What's your top 5 sneakers?
Top 5 sneakers? Like specific sneakers? Or like silhouettes or whatever?
What's your top 5 OGs?
Jordan 1, the Converse, the Dr. J's, Air Max 90s. Let me see what else. New Balance 1500s. Adidas, the Forums. I like the Forums. That Snake when they came out with a couple years ago, that off-white one.
Yeah, old. I do got a pair of Air Max 90s. I ain't seen nobody with yet. I got them from New Orleans.
Oh, somebody else got them.
I ain't seen. I ain't seen nobody up here. I ain't ran into nobody with them.
I saw Katrina with a pair on. You got him in New Orleans.
Yeah, we definitely going viral tomorrow. Hey man, it's been fun having you, man. We appreciate you coming through and messing with us, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Murph been at me for a minute. I was at the fight a couple weeks ago. I couldn't make it. I told him I definitely got to come do it.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, we
brother.
definitely appreciate it, man.
Well,
Time is everything.
We gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. I go by the name of Big Will.
I'm Keith Jones, Mr. Did You Know?
I'm newmurph.com, motherfucker.
All right, we out, man. Walnut Park, stay classy.
Be cool, be cool.